So another area that I will talk to you about right now is exposure and knowledge of the profession. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Two of the first things that I look at when I am reviewing your application is, the first of course is grades, and then I look at your standardized test, your OAT score. And right after that, I'm very curious to know how much you know about the profession. And that's an area that I really think that every applicant needs to work hard on, work really hard on. And again, what we are looking at, different types of specialties and also different modes of practice. So when you think about specialties, in optometry, for example, there is ocular disease, there is vision therapy, there is low vision, pediatrics, sports vision. And again, you don't need to have shadowed a doctor under each of these specialties. But if your shadowing experiences don't lead you to shadow doctors in those particular specialties, you have to know about them at least at a conversational level by doing your own research. So I encourage you to go online and Google it. Really do your own research about the profession you're getting yourself into. With the way we see it is this: it's like a marriage, and with any marriage, after you marry, divorcing, it's very painful. It costs a lot of money, a lot of tears, a lot of frustration. So when you're coming for an interview, when you're applying to a school, we want to make sure that you're 100% committed to the profession. And the best way to look at it is to know that you really know what you're getting yourself into. And the best way to know what you're getting yourself into is exploring the profession by spending hours with the people that actually do it. And in the case of optometry, is optometrists. So I sometimes hear from students say, hey, listen, I have shadowed 5 ophthalmologists. Is that good enough? And the answer is, it definitely helps you, but you haven't shadowed one optometrist. You have to shadow the profession that is actually going to be your profession in the future, because we don't want you to go through this entire process, begin optometry school, and then at a certain point realize that, hey, listen, this is not really for me, this is not what I expected, and then again, you are divorcing yourself from the process, and that's going to cost you a lot of money, because by then you're already going to have taken at least, let's say, half a semester of courses. You already have going to pay tuition, or even if you decide later, that's even worse. It's more money that you have invested. You have invested also a lot of your own time, and you just don't want to go through this process. So show that you're committed by shadowing as much as possible. A very important aspect of shadowing as well is not only shadowing, but talking about your experiences. And this is an area where we here at SUNY Optometry really emphasize this. We want to make sure that not only you shadow doctors in different areas, in different modes of practice, but we also want you to be reflective about them. In OptomCast, you're giving about 600 characters to describe your shadowing experiences. And often I see students that are very frugal on how they talk about their experiences. Some will just simply write, I shadowed Dr. So-and-so for 1 day in his private practice. And that is just like, all right, it doesn't tell me much about your shadowing experience. On the other hand, your purple cow colleagues, your colleagues who are extremely competitive, they will actually write beautiful descriptions of what they have seen in the practices that they have shadowed. And here is a very good example. This student here in OptomCast, she used every single character that was available to her. And this is what she wrote. I shadowed Dr. So-and-so in her, and then she names the practice, seeing each patient alongside her. Dr. So-and-so specializes in contacts. I did not realize the precision of contact lenses fittings before shadowing her. So what is she telling me here right now? First of all, she's telling me that she knows a specialty. So I'm already excited when I'm reading this, saying, oh wow, this a student, she knows more than just primary eye care. She knows about different specialties, and that's what I want to hear from you. It was interesting to see how new contact lens patients were able to adjust to wearing contacts, how each person feels strongly about the comforts of a specific brand. So now she's being reflective about her experience. It's not about fitting contact lenses, it's how each patient, she's talking about the patient experience, how each patient relates to his or her contacts. She goes on saying that since it is a commercial setting, I enjoyed seeing the differences compared to a clinical or private practice. So again, now she's telling me that not only she knows the specialties, she also knows different modes of practice because she has probably shadowed doctors in a clinic setting. So now I'm actually looking forward to reading about her next experiences. And then she tells us a little bit more about how the doctor reminded her of how detrimental it can be if you don't examine the back of the eye. Again, she's being reflective about it, and she has 600 characters to describe her experience, and she's using every single one of them. And that's what we expect from you. So basically, the questions that I want you to answer as you are reflecting over your experiences is, how is this practice different from others? What have I learned here that excites me? What can I learn from this particular doctor? Are there traits in him or her, on the doctor, that I actually admire and maybe in the future I want to emulate?